Now, this hasn't been the most cleanest process because there was a few things that I had to learn while dealing with this particular gel blaster. It was a learning experience, I must say so myself. But anyway, here's the things that you guys gonna have to learn. Not to learn, but these are the things that you're gonna have to know if you decide that you're gonna go ahead and do the gel blaster. Now, I made a video not too long ago about the gearbox and the magazine fitment and all that other good stuff. Now, I had to learn the hard way, because here's the gearbox right here, that this gearbox is too long for a regular magazine to fit into a regular airsoft magazine to fit into the gun. So I did all the shaving all down at the bottom to try to make sure. Hold on, let me grab it. This G&G 100 round mid cap can fit into the gun, because one thing I realized is that the regular magazine that it comes with, the feeder, is right in the middle, right there, and it's not towards the end like most, if not all, airsoft guns are. So I had to figure that out, and I did. So turn right on. So once I figured that out, then I had to figure out the gearbox problem. As you can see, you get it. As you can see, when I tried to put the gearbox in the lower, it stood out just a little bit more than I needed to be. That's when I sort of figured out the gearbox is too long. So if you do want to use this gearbox, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work, because there's not going to be a mag that's going to be compatible with it. So I did what I did with the MCX. Let me grab it down. This is the Sinjun MCX. This is another gel blaster that I converted over into an airsoft gun. And this one had the same problem, except this time the gearbox was plastic. But even still, it was still too long. So there was no way that I was going to be able to use a airsoft magazine with the gun. So I had to go back to a version 2 gearbox. That's what I had to do. So anyway, and that's the main takeaway. If you want to convert the XM7/XM5 into a airsoft compatible gun, then you're going to have to use a regular version 2 gearbox. I'm pretty sure you can use a version 2.5 gearbox, but I don't necessarily want to use that because they're not really that universal, even though they probably can give you a little bit more mag compatibility, because they push the magazine. I mean, they push the, what am I trying to say? The gearbox is longer, therefore you can use more compatible magazines with the feeder in the front. That's what I'm saying. But if you want to use a regular version 2 gearbox, which is what I suggest, then you can use the Aries/G&G magazines. So they do work, they do fit, and they fit perfectly, even though you have to do some modifications to the inside of the magazine. You have to make this part wider, which is in the back, and then you would have to kind of sand the top port down to make the magazines kind of fit flush. So that's what I did with the XM5/XM7, and it does work. I will do a shooting test at the end of this video, not necessarily with BBs because I don't have any right now, but I did shoot it before, and they actually do feed. And the last video that I made, I wouldn't say don't pay attention to it, but kind of don't. Because if you can find a way to use the original gearbox with a airsoft magazine, then it might be up to you. But to me, I couldn't find a way. So I just, like I said, I went to the regular version 2, just like I did with the MCX. So we're going to take it to the table. We're going to break it down, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. Peace.
This is the lower. This is polymer. All this right here. Also the pistol grip. The selector is metal too. Both driver side and Comes with a little BB down at the bottom. Get it that nice little click. It's way better than MCX. Like I said, you got the version 2 gearbox here that I put in. I don't really think I need to make a video on how to install a version 2 gearbox into a basic kind of M4 lower, so that's kind of pointless to do. But I mean, basically, if you got your version 2 gearbox, you slide. I'm not gonna take y'all for idiots. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that. But y'all know how to do that. So, regular motor. Like I said, Perum Hybrid. Wire to the front. Yeah, back sling plates are metal inserts, and the outer is all polymer. Like I said, all this is polymer. Push pins. These are metal, of course. Then going back to the buttstock, the hinge is also metal, and it also comes with that little hole right there and the hole right there for the cables that used to be in, that is no longer in. But yeah, but still, it's metal and it holds up. I know a lot of guys are gonna be a little disappointed in the buttstock, but the buffer tube is plastic, aka ABS. But it's solid though. It's solid. It's real solid. I wouldn't trust it in a few drops. If you drop it once or twice and it survives, then consider yourself lucky. But I wouldn't go around tossing it. It's probably not gonna survive too much. But even still, it's on a Picatinny, so you could just go get another one. And plus, you got the Magpul MOE stock. This is a very good stock. I would say it's a stock you pretty much can buy on any gun. Is it like the real MOE stock? Probably not. The plastic does feel ABS, so it's more of a mold of the real stock than a replacement or trying to be like the real stock. But even still, for what it is, it's pretty cool. The pistol grip is also pretty thin. I like that, even though it looks fat from like that type of profile. But from that profile and just gripping it, it doesn't feel like, a typical M4. I don't know if that's what I really was trying to say. No, what I was trying to say is that when you grip it, it feels like an M4. That's what I was trying to say. Not that it don't feel like an M4. It feels like an M4. What I meant is if it doesn't feel like a 308, then a 5.56. Because when you put it all together, it's a big gun, or it looks like a big gun, but when you grip it, it feels like an M4. But anyway, charger handle, that's metal. That's metal. That's tight. Everything seems well made. This is a well-made gel blaster. So actually, I would probably say it's underpriced for what it is. But yeah, this is the little spring. You could say guide rods. But yeah, this is metal. This is metal. Probably not steel. Probably is steel. I don't know. Don't really care. I'm not running, that. Pressed about if it is or not. But it is heavy. I ain't gonna say heavy like heavy as in weigh the gun down, but it has some weight to it. It doesn't feel cheap. But anyway, so all the top, the upper receiver is ABS, as you can see. All the metal components, I think, are aluminum, dust cover, forward assist, brass deflector is a little bit metal, and then the outside is polymer. But like I said, who cares? You're not really going to be taking this into war or anything. The second, you know what this is. Anyway, that's metal too, and that went with the electric blowback. I'm just explaining the parts, and then I go over what I had to leave behind in order to get this a function, to make this a functioning gun. I went over it in the intro, but this is just a more deep dive, and also to pad the videos I get the algorithms, baby. Anyway, the the outer rings right here, or I would say aluminum. I wouldn't say, well, we could say metal. It's a metal alloy. That's what we're gonna go with, metal. The bolts that hold it in is metal. Like I said, the outer barrel right here is ABS, but it's a thick ABS, very thick. The gas block is metal also, and the front part right here is metal, and the threads are metal. But this right here is also, like I said, it's plastic, but the threads are also plastic. So this metal part is threaded on a plastic piece. But other than that, though, I keep saying other than that and keep moving on, but that's just how you do it when you're an amateur. The handguard is plastic, which is cool. I would prefer that it had been metal, but like I said, the new ones, the tan ones, they said they come with metal handguard, but even still, I still like this handguard. But it's also ABS, but it has metal inserts as far as the QD sling goes, and it can fit all your M-lock attachments and Picatinny attachments, as you can see here, very firmly, as I have the Mall replica battery holder, the Unity push button with the mod light, and the BCM grip, which I'm going to be changing that grip at some point in time to the Tiger grip, but the BCM is going to do for now. And we move into the muzzle device, which the other one came with a plastic muzzle device, but the muzzle device, it was plastic, but it was cool, but I wasn't going to be using it anyway, so ain't no point in talking about it. I just used a regular hop-up that I got out of one of my other guns. It really didn't matter. It was a version 2 hop-up. The spring, I elongated because when you press this in here, right, okay, this has to go further back than the regular version 2 gun because of the size of the mag whip. So elongating the spring, and what I did was I put a little buffer in between so it'll stay kind of straight. So when I put the mag in, it'll go in almost every time, and every time after I get the orientation right. So like I said, I don't know. I think this is a 263 millimeter barrel. So your regular M4 barrel, 14 inch barrel. This is a 13 inch barrel, but it sticks out like this much past the muzzle. So even when you put a tracer unit on it, it doesn't exceed and go past the muzzle, which some tracer units don't matter. You can still do it, but it's glad that you don't. But anyway, so we're gonna put this all back together. We're gonna get a battery. Oh, I'm tripping. Magazine. We gotta go with a magazine. Anyway, this is the magazine it came with. This is the magazine it don't come with. As you can see, the follower is in the middle of the magazine. I hope y'all can see that. So, like most airsoft guns, half of this is gone, and this is like a regular M4 mag. But with this one, which I really appreciate Aries and G&G actually kind of coming up with this, because if not, you would have had to get the version 2.5 Gearbox, which would have elongated the front end right here and set the follower right here, which is fine, but for this particular gun, it's better because you have more compatibility with more different version 2 gearboxes. Because I mean, I haven't heard of a version 2.5 gearbox until I started looking for a magazine that could possibly fit this gun, and it, you know, led me down the rabbit hole. And that's where I found the version 2.5, and I was like, okay, I could possibly put a version 2.5 in this gun, but then I would limit myself to just that particular gearbox. And I mean, I could have, but I really didn't want to. I had a version 2 around, and it just would have been replacing a whole bunch of shit that I didn't have to replace. So anyway, I went to the version 2 gearbox. Anyway, so led me to the G&G Armament 308 mag, which 308/SR25 mag, and it had the perfect placement because that's where the Gel Blaster mag came in. It's sitting right there at the exact same spot, almost at the exact same spot. But I mean, I guess if you line them up, anyway, they relatively in the same spot. Yeah, you know, it ain't gotta be that precise, but yeah, it happens to fit. But as you can see, this is at a slant, and this one is kind of straight across, and that's where the sanding of the mag well comes in, man, where you're trying to get the magazine to fit straight in without having to really curve, even though it's still going to curve a little bit. But once you sand it and get it to fall straight in, that's once you also get your hop up in too. If it's almost like it was meant to fit for the gun, as if it came from the manufacturer. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anything else I can go over that you probably couldn't, that you would like to know, because I mean, as far as like trying to figure out what the UDL XM7 is about, and I think I kind of went over mostly everything. But like I said, the version 2, even if you decide to HPA this gun, it still fits a version 2 gearbox. So, like I said, all you really got to do is just change the hop up. If you're going to just put the version 2 in there, all you got to do is just change the hop up and possibly put a O-ring around the barrel just so it won't bang up against the outer barrel. Or you can leave it alone and do what you want to do. You're an American. Who cares? So we're going to put it back together, and we're going to put a battery through it just so you can hear how it snaps. Even though, you didn't hear the 1,000 Airsoft gun snap, but you also want to see the Perum in action. So we'll see you in just a second. In negative Airsoft fashion. Safe. Semi. Full. Safe. Semi. And safe. There you go. Got a functioning XM5 AEG. So, I appreciate you guys going through this journey with me and getting this gun to working form. Oh, we also got to see the mag compatibility. This is the G&G straight in. Oh, well, this one not going to be straight in. I got to straight. Oh, just look straight. Okay. Hold on. There you go. As you can see, the follower goes through. Simulate a BB. One more time. Straight in. Follower goes through. One more time. Straight in. Goes in. So, there you go.